Gonna get there. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Vanflip podcast. If this is your first time around, thanks for checking us out. If not, welcome back, like I already said when we started off. Anyway, you can also just, if you want to, go ahead and give us a fresh like or a sub. Welcome to the channel. Also, welcome to the couch today. I have Reese and Trey of Dallas death metal band Creeping Death.
What up? What's going on?
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Chilling.
You guys are currently on tour, correct? How long you guys been on tour this so far?
Technically almost a week. It'll be a week tomorrow.
So, like 6 days?
Yeah, 6 days.
Did you guys start in Texas?
Yeah, we started in Austin. It kind of made it was weird because we started in Austin and then went back home to Dallas. So it really didn't feel like tour started until we pretty much got to Florida. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's been sick. Been having a lot of fun. It's been
cool.
A lot of fun.
Stuff. So like, how long have you guys been like a complete band, like as Creeping Death?
Was it 2019? 4 years. We started in 2015. Yeah, it was just kind of we were all in hardcore bands and stuff before. We just kind of wanted to try something new. We all were metalheads. We liked metal. None of us had ever played in a metal band at all. So we were just like, oh, let's give it a shot. And it was the first time I had played guitar in a band. I've always played drums. So, it was just born out of just trying something new. Just wanted to jam with the homies.
Did you play guitar before, or did you?
Not really. I picked up guitar in like 2013. My parents got me a guitar for Christmas when I was like 17, and I did the typical thing. I didn't touch it for like years until I got some free time in college and stuff, and then I got bored and I kind of picked it back up when I was like 19. I basically just taught myself how to read like Ultimate Guitar tabs, and I just tried to learn songs that I liked, and then eventually I got to the point where like, oh, let's try to do something with it, and that's kind of how it started. I was just like, oh, I feel like I've gotten good enough to write some music,
right?
So.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. It's weird on here. A couple of the guitar players that have been on here, like when I asked them like how they learned how to play guitar or anything like that, they were like, I didn't know how to play before. I just kind of like learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like Tim was like, I don't even know. You can't even tell me like you can't even like yell out a chord, and I wouldn't know what chord.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the same way.
Okay,
like if you told me, hey, play a C minor chord, I'd look at you like you had a third eye because I don't know.
That's crazy.
I'm a drummer. Like that's I know rudiments for days. Like I could tell you what a paradiddle and a paraparadiddle and double stroke rolls and all this crazy shit, but like I don't know anything about guitar. Like straight up. My guitar guru is like Eric. He basically kind of helps me through a lot of this stuff.
Cool.
I feel like in the last couple years, I've picked up like a lot. Now I'm like finally to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like comfortable playing guitar live now. Because when I first started, our first show was in June of 2015.
Yeah, it was like June the 3rd.
Yeah, like by that time, I'd only been playing for like 2 years. So it was still really like awkward for me. But now I have like a lot more knowledge and it's like getting easier every day.
Right.
So
weird. That's so crazy. So like you were just like going out there and you knew like what basic hand structures. You just moved your hand across.
Yeah, I mean like
I just don't like even when Tim and other people have been saying it, I'm like I just don't understand how you would just go like, yeah, that sounds good. And then you just move to something next?
Yeah, that's like you, once I started like kind of.
Because I'm learning guitar, like I've been learning guitar like this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm learning the chords and stuff like that. So like that's why to me it's like, how would you just fucking.
For me, it was like.
A lot?
Yeah, it was like I learned like, bunch of songs when I first started. And then I started to notice what like combinations of frets like kind of made. Certain things. That's so pretty much it.
Other songs,
that's like, I know this combination kind of sounds like this and blah, 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 which is basically like, learning chords in a roundabout way, but just.
Yeah, like all the bar chords or power chords and shit like that.
Yeah, but.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool way to learn, I was assuming. Much different than the way I'm doing like the old traditional.
The
YouTube University.
The long route.
The long route, yeah.
So what have been some of your highlights? Like, because you guys have been touring the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You're touring currently in support of your latest album you had out in September.
Yes, Wretched Illusions.
Yes, and so how is this? Like, what are some of the highlights from this current? The last couple of tours supporting that album?
Honestly, just the fact that most of the shows have been like crazy packed. Like, pretty much most of the shows we played have been pretty much lit.
Yeah, so far this whole tour hasn't had a bad show, and it's not going to get any worse. So like we're really stoked to be on it.
Yeah.
And people are we're playing first at like 7 p.m. every day.
Oh wow.
And people are there.
Cool.
That doesn't happen at hardcore shows.
Right.
You go to a hardcore show, you play at 7, you play to the promoter.
yeah.
And like people are here like buying merch at like 6:45, 6:50, and then like we play and it's like not empty. If it's like a good feeling. So
that's cool. That's great. Has it been like a gradual thing for you guys, or like because you've been at it for a couple of years now? Is this the first time you kind of like been on the road and seen like an influx like that?
This is definitely the first tour that we haven't had like a bad show. Like we've been playing like I don't know. We all our tours have been sick, but like I mean, there's always those cities that just don't have a huge scene.
There's not
so like yeah, I mean we've like played sandwich delis to 11 people before. It's a thing. Yeah,
but that's hardcore.
That was like last year. It's like
that's hardcore though. True. A lot of people have done that.
Yeah.
And
I mean like that's like I feel like that going the route we did just like prepared us and like helped us out even more for the kind of the rigors of touring, because like we're like, oh, it can't get worse than blank, you know what I'm saying? Like we kind of, you know, we just kind of like learn as we go, and it's
grind it out.
We just stacking on top of each other and just getting better and better at it.
Were you guys, because you were in hardcore bands prior, so like how much experience did you have at like, you know, not just playing shows, but like were you touring with the other bands?
Yeah,
or recording and stuff like that.
I used to be in a band called Kept in Line, and I'd done like 1 or 2 tours with them. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it for my touring experience.
I've been in like 4 bands, but Creeping Death was my first one. So like the first Creeping Death show was the first time I ever like performed.
Okay.
Holy shit, that was stressful. But yeah, I did a few bands after we started when we were like taking it easy. But yeah, that was Creeping Death's my first band, so feels
that's
good.
Cool. Yeah. So how was the transition from going to like hardcore band? I guess for you, because that was your first band. Your current band is your first band. But like, what was the transition like going from like hardcore band to like just going like fuck it, let's do metal? And I've like only been playing guitar for like 2 seconds.
It was like, I mean, we started. We didn't even really like, oh, let's like be a metal band. Like we were just like, oh, let's just play metal and we'll just hop on our friends' shows, like the same hardcore shows that we've been going to forever. So
it didn't really feel like he was transitioning into. It was just symbiotic.
Yeah, it was just
chill.
Yeah, it was just kind of like I wanted to write metal and play it for my hardcore friends.
Basically, just we felt like we were just playing heavier stuff to the same crowd.
Yeah, that's a
huge change to us. Really.
But the biggest change was definitely like a different instrument, because it's like a completely different like vibe. Like I started playing drums when I was like 12, and I'm 26 now, and so I had a lot more experience with that, just knowledge and everything. So it was really like kind of nerve-wracking at first, because I'm like, man, this is like a lot. Like this is the actual, you know, I know the drums are very important, but like if you miss like a note, it's like everyone could kind of notice. It's like if you miss a hit or something, like a lot of people, like, yeah, other drummers will probably notice, but like most people, it's like you could play it off with a cool fill later on. You know what I'm saying?
But when it's like when the guitar is off and the sound is definitely
off, and it was like, so that was really tough. It's more mental for me than anything. The drums is definitely physical, like straight physical. I just like beating the shit out of it. So that was a big change for me, just kind of like getting my mind right to be able to like kind of not fuck up as much.
Right. Yeah. Well, to gain that confidence, I guess you had like, you basically threw yourself to the wolves for the most part to like gain that kind of confidence to even play in public, even though you're like
not comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you know, that's kind of how I've always been. I'm just like, oh, I'd just rather just try it. You know, I try anything once.
Well, life is like that anyway. You got to force yourself to do a lot of stuff. That's how you get changed to whatever flourish. So where does the name come from?
Metallica.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Obviously,
that's it.
That's literally it.
That's it.
Again, like
I had an idea. I was like, they have to be big Metallica fans.
Yeah, like
people always seem disappointed when we give them that answer.
Well, I wouldn't know why. I mean, like when you see it, when I initially saw it, it reminded me of Metallica.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, typical hardcore thing. It's just like, oh, you like a band or a song title from a band or something like that. So you take that as like, your band name. There's so many bands that have done that.
Directly translates to I can't think of a band name.
Right?
Yeah.
Just fuck it.
Yeah.
That was the only reason.
The funniest thing is like the name came from someone who's like not even like involved with the band, because it was like a name we used for a project that didn't come to fruition before.
Yeah.
So when we were trying to think of a name for this, we couldn't, and we were just like, oh, let's use the name for the last one. And then the kid who thought of that name, I mean, we were all huge Metallica fans, but he was like a huge Metallica fan. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, I'm about it. I fucking love Metallica. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, you're right. People really don't like that we give that straightforward of an answer.
I wouldn't understand why. I mean, like, it just makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure what they're looking for.
I'm not sure. I think they want some like deep explanation of like, yeah, this like touched my soul. And I'm like, nope, couldn't think of a name.
I survived this fucking car crash.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah. So speaking of Metallica, like, did you guys all meet at the Metallica fan group meetup or some shit, or you just like all happened to be friends and like Metallica?
We just knew each other from like the hardcore.
Yeah, we'd all been going to hardcore shows for years.
So we've known each other for like 2 years before we started the band.
That's cool. And you guys just were like, I like Metallica.
Yeah,
I like Metallica.
Sure.
Yeah, it was more like pretty much. Like everyone's like, yeah, I like Metallica.
We spent like an hour in the group chat trying to think of a name, and
couldn't
was like, "How about this?" And we were like, "Fuck it, sir." Why not?
I mean, yeah, it just works.
Yeah.
It's
because we had a whole like demo written, and
we had a show
like
booked.
3 days, and
we couldn't. Name. Yeah, we needed a name so they could put it on the flyer to announce the show.
And
so
that's
like,
how it usually happens too. A lot of like bands that make it like super huge. Even like we just needed a name.
Yeah.
And then it sticks, and then
the only downside was that we were buried, like super.
We're still
buried in the internet. Like we used to play at a venue called 1919 all the time, and if you wanted a live video of Creeping Death 1919, and you typed in 191 after our band name, it's still Metallica playing Creeping Death in 1990 something.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like we were so buried, but I mean, it's kind of
getting marketing strategy.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even, we weren't even thinking about that. We literally we were just thinking of like, we need a name for the show. Yeah. Like, we weren't even
I think the first time I realized it might have been a mistake was, it was like one of our like first shows, and this is the most ridiculous thing. I searched our name on Twitter to see like, I don't know, if anybody's like sharing like flyers or whatever.
Right.
And to this day, like 4 years later, there's this random bot Twitter account that just posts the same thing every other day, and it's just, here's my Minecraft parody of Creeping Death by Metallica, and I see it every time. It's so ridiculous, dude. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, I guess it would be hard for people to find you.
Like I said, dude, we didn't think about this at all. Like,
so is that? So yeah, I mean, like, things are kind of. It usually happens where like this was like not an idea that you were going to be like, hey, let's continue on and we'll be like the best fucking band of all time as Creeping Death. So when did things start like picking up for you guys and you're like, oh,
literally not until E1 hit us up. Like
that was pretty much it.
Yeah, like
we were just touring for fun.
We were just
it was we never like we started the band just to play music with our homie. It's like
it was never something
we never going to go anywhere with it. So. Just for fun, and I mean, it still is just for fun. Like,
yeah, we used to just tour and do stuff during like winter breaks and
winter
stuff.
Break and summer.
Right. Yeah, that was literally it. And it was like I'd be off school, and someone had time off from work, and like so we can all make it work.
When E1 emailed us, we like sent like 3 confirmation emails, like making sure they had the right fucking band.
Yeah, because we were like
Metallica,
again because the name we were like, okay, well. Are like how common is this?
Are you sure?
Yeah,
like 6 times.
Yeah,
it's like you're talking about
this is our
this
photo.
One.
Just FYI, this is our photo. These are our songs. Okay, just making sure. So, like, do you guys worry that may be an issue going forward?
It's too late, man.
I get that.
I'm not worried. Like,
I
think as of last year, if you type in Creeping Death Band on Google, we come up now.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, so be it. Like we're already there. It's fine.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to make all your like socials that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Creeping Death Band.
TX.
Yes, Texas. So, how is the metal scene out there in Texas?
It's on fire, dude.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Just like the temperatures.
Pretty fucking badass.
Some cool new band, like Frozen Soul is killing it. Those are our homies.
Frozen Soul.
And you guys are from Dallas or outside of Dallas?
From Dallas. I'm from Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas. A lot of us are from like suburbs around it.
Yeah.
DFW is just
Huge.
It's 7,500 cities in a 45-mile radius.
Yeah, me and Eric live on the Fort Worth side, and Lincoln and Reese live on the Dallas
East
side.
Dallas, and then
cool.
So like what's the scene like locally there to Dallas and Fort Worth?
Badass.
It's pretty sweet, man. I like it a lot.
Like, Frozen Soul's killing it.
My only complaint is the lack of venues, but that's about it.
That sucks, but
Well, you guys get a lot of major and minor tour going.
Yeah, the problem is there's no in betweens. Like you either have to book a 400 cap room, or it's like an art space or something like that, like DIY. So there's nothing really in the middle.
That seems weird though for that area that you.
There used to be a lot for us, and all those places got shut down, or like either they shut down or they like stopped booking our shows or something like that. Like,
that's curious you say that they got shut down and stuff like that, because we have that similar problem here. Like only up until recently, we started like getting new venues, and with the influx of like hardcore and metal coming back in general, there have been like an increase in bands being booked like that here locally as well. But we also lack mid-sized venues too. Mm-hmm. That's weird that you say that. You also
it's a plague, man.
But you guys are a major city, so it makes it weird that you guys lack that particular demographic.
Yeah, I know in particular in Dallas, like the area where a lot of the venues are, they're really trying to just rezone it for strictly like retail and housing. Like they just want apartments and shops.
And they want it all to be nice, like bougie.
Yeah, super bougie. Like,
well, hardcore and metal dudes hanging on the sidewalk don't really attract the dollar bills.
Yeah, that's why they want them out. So kind of sucks, but
yeah, that actually is a bummer, and that does create a negative space for creativity as well. So
yeah, but I mean, it's not harming DFW. Like people,
I mean, we manage, but like, yeah, it's frustrating sometimes.
Do you guys do a lot of house show type things, or like warehouse gig type stuff?
We played many house shows. When was the last house show we played?
Lions Den.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago?
2 or 3 years ago, probably.
We played a few.
My friends used to throw house shows all the time, but I think they had to stop. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, when we all mostly all of us were like living in Denton and like in college, we were partying and going and playing a house shows.
Right. Mm-hmm. Outside of Metallica, what are some of your like musical influences? Not just to
like for Creeping Death, or just like
no, just personal. And then yes, for Creeping Death.
Well, personally, Chuck Schuldiner from Death. Like, I fucking love Death. It's one of my favorite bands. Let's see. Definitely the Cavalera brothers, because obviously I'm a drummer too. Yeah. So it's like both of them. It's just like, I don't know, the style and the way they play. I love like very, very like syncopated music, and it's like you can feel that like, that fast thrashness, but it's also very like kind of you feel that Brazilian kind of like tribalness of it too. Right. So I fuck with that very heavily. Who else? Not honestly for guitar, not many, like, because I started late, but for drums, like it's funny. What was Avenged Sevenfold's first drummer?
The guy is dead, right?
Yeah, he passed away. I was bummed. But yeah,
I'm thinking of the stage name, but I'm blanking hard.
When I was like learning how to play drums, like I was like 12, so I loved that band, and they that was what made me want to get like a double kick pedal. So right. I immediately got one, and I got pretty decent at it. So that formed a lot of my drumming like style. Rush is my mom's favorite band of all time, so obviously like Puritan and all that. Definitely made me want to play drums, period. Like really? The Tom Solo drum solo, I was like, I want to be able to do that.
So like, I guess your mom's just out here listening to Rush when you're a kid, and you're just like, yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny because like I really didn't I listened to only like rap and R&B until I was about 11 or 12, and then it finally like clicked because my mom would play it around me all the time, and I wouldn't pay any attention. Right. But yeah. But like, she was just like, I can't believe like blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, I'm going to put this on, sit here and listen to this. And then she like air drummed the drum solo because she's a drummer too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that is actually really sick. So immediately she was like, oh, you want to learn how to play drums? I'll buy you a drum set. And she got me a drum set like that same year.
Cool.
And then she taught me how to play. So then after that, like I was just going through, YouTube rabbit holes. So yeah, that's kind of how like, it's just like the first kind of people I started listening to when I was getting into the instrument were kind of like the inspirations for me, I guess.
Right. Early Avenged Sevenfold. It's crazy. Although that first album was pretty good.
Yeah. For me, I just want to be Suffocation. I guess for Creeping Death, I mean, we take a lot of. I feel like our riffs kind of reflect a lot on like Blood Red Throne.
Yeah, literally, I give the same answer for the influences for Creeping Death. It's always been Blood Red Throne, Grave, Gorguts, Sepultura, Bolt Thrower, and Suffocation. It's just like trying to mix all of those without it being like disjointed and sound like 4 different bands instead of like one like band.
Interesting.
Yeah, in terms of like death metal bands that influence me or like my vocals, I guess. Like I said, I want to sound like Suffocation. That'd be badass. Bolt Thrower for sure. Shit, who else? Let's say probably. Honestly, I used to hate Blood Red Throne's vocals, but they grew on me really hard. I like them a lot now. But I listen to a lot of like Cocteau Twins is like one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
So is Lush. I like some like old like Latin American like old like goth pop kind of stuff. Like Alaska y Los Pegamuedas is like one of my favorite bands, and it's literally like goth kids like playing pop. Kinda, it's sick. It's really cool.
Strange. That would be something I have no idea about, obviously. Yeah.
I don't know. My first like favorite band ever was probably like Dinosaur Jr., which is like a weird one. I don't know. My taste is all over the place. Like,
all of our tastes are really all over the place.
Like
all 4 of us have very, very like we all like similar things, but like we are all like scattered. Like we all have.
Who takes the aux cord in the van on the drive?
We switch.
We all switch. When I take it though, their fucking AirPods go straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it for the goth pop?
Anything. Well, I mean, like I don't know. I'll turn off Cannibal Corpse and like then put on like a Lush album. Like just like really change the mood. The mood like really hard.
Is this whale singing?
I remember one day I was like sleeping in the van and Eric was driving somewhere early in the morning and he was listening to Bjork and I've never listened to Bjork before then. Cool. And it was just the weirdest thing. I thought I was like dreaming. I was just like, what the fuck is this sound coming out of? I was like, okay, I still got to be asleep right now.
Yeah,
and then I think
some Bjork is way out there stuff, but I used to listen to her way back in the day.
I think Eric hit like the speed median side thing. It was like, and I was like, oh nope, I'm awake. I'm here.
I drove the van overnight one time and everybody was sleeping, and I put on like a 2-hour 45-minute Dungeon Synth album, and like just creeped the fuck out of all my like bandmates.
Wow. So you listen to the whole thing?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
Well, it's easy to put that shit on and just like chill.
I just remember you were like, Trey, give me a Vyvanse so I could do this drive, and I was like, yeah, sure. And you were just like, I'm gonna listen to this Dungeon shit. Like, listen to this
fucking thing.
And then, I'm like, all right, do what
and
you
never in a million years would I ever think that Trey would even kind of understand, like, because he just hates that type of shit, which is fine. But then that morning he was like, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I was just laying there trying to go to sleep at night, and then just listening to this like crazy
synth and
I was like, okay, this is like kind of lulling me to sleep. I kind of feel it.
Yeah, how much of it did you listen to though?
Probably about 9 minutes before I passed out.
Background noise, man. Like I
can see the background.
Or something.
Yeah, just for long drives and shit.
Yeah.
So speaking of long drives, what are some of your like lowest points of touring?
Canada, when we were in Vancouver, we got a place to stay with a homie. He went out to party while we went out to eat. And then I'm texting him like, yo, like, what the fuck's your address? Like, where are we going? No response. We slept in a Walmart. It was cold as fuck. Nobody was showered.
It's Vancouver in January.
Yeah, it was fuck. And then the next day he texts me back and goes, dog, I left my phone in the taxi. I'm sorry.
Whoops.
I was like, fuck. That was miserable. That sucked. And then the other one would probably be, where were we? Like West Texas when we popped that tire?
Oh, yeah, that was pretty miserable.
We popped the tire in like, I think it was Iran, Texas.
Yeah, with 2 A's.
Yeah, and the there was like 3 shops that were all far as fuck, and none of them were open, and they were like closed. So we got like 2 huge fucking tows. It was like a 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. ordeal, and it sucked, dude. And it was already a really long drive, so like
we went to one town because it said this place was there and open, and we get there and it's like some dude's like
it's a guy's backyard with tires in it.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
I'm not joking. It was just not even. I think that it might have been a business. I don't know what to do. It was literally a house.
It looked like his house.
Like some junkyard shit. It was crazy.
That's insane.
So we had to get it towed to another 90 miles,
Something like that.
to a town called Ozona. I'll never forget that forever.
How much is a 90 fucking mile tow?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. AAA.
AAA, yeah. We have AAA now.
Wow,
Several of us do. It's
a
definitely
godsend.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, touring can be rough out there, man. That's for sure.
Now we have 2 spares.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, I feel like we all kind of have a very morbid sense of humor. So when it really sucks, we're like making jokes. Yeah. Like it's never really that bad.
There's also an argument that things that are really fun that really happen really easy, they're not something that you hold on to. Like say like going on a roller coaster or something like that for split seconds, it's like wild and crazy and fun. But enduring like traumatic shit or like really bad things, you look back at it more in life and you get more joy out of that because you can laugh about things like shitty situations with your friends where you guys laugh about it for years and years and years. You know what I'm saying?
We don't hold on to shit, but when it happens, it sucks.
So, what else? What else has been going on? Oh, do you guys eat anything weird on tour? Do you guys have like any weird like diets, like any like vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
But other than that, I just eat a lot of French fries because
I just eat bad on tour. That's it.
Eat bad.
The worst. What was that thing you got in Birmingham?
Oh God. Okay, I was really stoned one time, and we were at some gas station, and there was a. I don't even want to talk about it. There was like a beef. It was like a meat stick, but it was pickled, and I don't like pickled meat sticks. I just was like, I have to know what this is, and I took one bite, and literally, I've never had anything where it was like it. As soon as you chewed on it, it turned into sand, and it only tasted.
Talk about the smell.
Oh, dude! I removed the stick from the packaging, threw it out of the van, and then put the packaging in our trash bag, and the whole van stunk. Wow. It was heinous.
It was a smell I can't describe either. It's like
so fucked.
It smelled like someone had like pickled like fucking fermented
their armpit
hair.
Yeah, dude, it was
for
bad.
4 days.
So how long did that smell linger in the car?
At least 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. They were really pissed.
I ask that because do you guys eat cereal?
I love cereal.
I used to eat it a lot. Not so much anymore.
I don't really buy cereal, but like
yeah, that's the thing.
When I buy cereal, I'm like, I'm buying that for a midnight snack. Or something.
Yeah. I always eat in the morning, but I'm saying recently I did something strange with cereal. I looked up like how many people because like on Friday where he pours a big bowl of cereal and doesn't have milk.
Yeah.
I did the same thing, and I was like, all right, well, you better put some water on that shit.
Oh,
you didn't do that, did you?
So I looked that up, and I was like, YouTube. We talked about it. I go on YouTube. Do people put water in their cereal?
And sociopaths, dude.
Right. But then I saw people like trying it on YouTube, and I was like, okay. And I had Honey Bunches of Oats already poured, so it's not like a chocolatey cereal.
Wait! You had the time to Google and research all of this, but not to go get some milk.
Yeah. Because it was also like midnight.
No hate.
It was also midnight and shit, so I wasn't
that's fair.
I wasn't about to go to the store or nothing like that. But anyway, so I tried it, and I will say, like, I've had like 5 bowls of cereal now with water.
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I mean, do you, dog? But I'm gonna stick with my soy milk or my oat milk.
I had a friend who hated
I started making the argument with myself. I was like, well, people put non-milk products in there. So I was like, what's the fucking difference? And I did it, and it's not fucking bad. It's the weirdest thing. It's not as sweet as like with milk.
I used to know this guy who hated milk, but loved cereal, and I'll never forget, every time he ate it, he had a plastic spoon and a boat. Like he put French fries in or whatever, and he would just put regular Cheerios in the boat and eat it dry and chase it with water.
Oh. That's kind of the same thing.
Kind of the same thing.
But see, but regular Cheerios would be
disgusting.
Regular Cheerios suck anyway.
Yeah.
So but if you get the Honey Nut Cheerios and some water, it probably would be almost the same as with milk. It's just not as sweet, I don't think.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
I'm not doing it. I'm
I used to
just
try it
pissing
out. You eating pickled meat sticks over here?
I don't eat pickled meat sticks. I tried to pickle meat sticks.
Same thing. I tried my cereal
And then
with
you
water.
tried it 4 more times.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's better than a pickled meat stick. I'll probably say that.
I will. You know what? I will give you that. I would rather
I
eat
can give you that,
water and cereal than pickled meat stick.
Yeah, well, don't knock it till you try it. You know?
There's one time Reese got I guess the turkey leg was really good, but
It actually,
a turkey leg from a gas station in Sinclair, Wyoming.
Here we go. It was badass.
It
tasted
smelled like a dead rotting carcass in the
Well,
van.
it was.
I mean,
Look, I inspected them thoroughly before I ordered. I looked at it. It looked chill. It was chill. I enjoyed it.
I would assume a turkey leg out in Wyoming gas station is probably pretty legit.
It's basically a state fair.
Yeah.
it
I
smelled
mean, they
like
probably have a smoker out back in that bitch. You know
it smelled like roadkill, like dead ass. It smelled like roadkill.
It could have been roadkill.
It could have been roadkill.
So be it.
But there's something about turkey legs. Like when you go to amusement parks and you see all these people walking around with turkey legs or like medieval times or some shit.
Makes you feel powerful.
Yeah, it makes you
Oh,
feel like
dude.
Viking-like or some shit. You know?
Dude, it grosses me. I just don't like thinking about people like eating, and when I see just people just like tearing off just like hunks of like fucking turkey leg, like I just
crucify a guy
I
for
can't-
having a turkey.
I
Well,
leg.
you're
can't do it.
vegetarian, so you.
But
you
I've
don't
only
understand
been vegetarian for I haven't even been vegetarian for a year. It's like 11 months now, some shit. So like I recognize like I used to like that shit. I used to like eating meat, and I used to like that shit. It's not like gross to me. It's just like the specific of like how big it is compared to like.
Oh yeah.
That's
It
what,
doesn't
dude.
look nice.
Oh, dude, it just
It looks like
gets
Game of Thrones
me.
type shit. Like like weird Viking
dude.
type. No one looks good eating a giant turkey leg like that.
Unless they have a horn full of wine.
What?
A horn full of wine.
Right,
Wash
and
it
a
down.
beard and
Yeah.
fucking like
Skull.
yeah.
Goals.
No one looks good doing it.
Goals.
So what made you go vegetarian?
Dude, honestly, at
'Cause
first,
meat gives you cancer.
huh?
Because meat gives you cancer.
Okay,
Got tapped in?
so
Got
like,
woke up?
so like the initially like I was just at the point where I was like physically feeling like shit,
Yeah.
and my dad was always like, yeah, in the Pemberton family, like you're gonna turn 25 and your whole metabolism's gonna change and blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever, Dad. And then I was like feeling it. I was like, I too much information, but I was having like stomach problems and bowel problems, and I was just like, you know what, maybe I should just like stop doing this for a minute, stop eating all this meat and bullshit, and like maybe I can feel better for a minute and then hop back in. But then I never stopped. It was just like, I'll keep going. And then on the other side, like
But you're
obviously
not like full like vegan or anything.
No,
You're just
no.
vegetarian.
yeah. On the other side, it's like I do want to try to help. I guess vegetarian, most people think it's like kind of a cop out, I guess, or most vegans do, but I'm trying.
Help with like you mean like with the animals?
Yeah,
gotcha.
because it's like dairy industry is still
I
pretty
feel
fucked
you.
up.
Well, all the industries are fucked up.
Oh yeah, but
Unless are you growing the shit at your house?
no.
Then you're not helping out. I don't
Hey,
know. That's not my view. But LOLs.
Hey, I'm doing my best.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, like straight up, I was just like, oh, okay, well, it just kind of became a thing. It wasn't really like it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, personally, myself, I've thought about doing more plant-based shit in general, just because it
I
is a
think
healthy
all of
thing.
us try to make an effort to just like eat less meat, like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still eat meat. If I cook a dinner 7 days a week, it's like 2 weeks or 2 days a week. I eat meat.
Yeah, no, see, I'm like full on. I like probably.
It's increased since we got a grill.
Yeah, well, as it should.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of the times, a lot of my meals are not focused on meat, but have a meat protein in it at least. So I was thinking, like, if by chance meat does cause cancer, I should probably like back it up a little bit.
I mean, they say everything causes cancer.
literally
Honestly,
everything
like
else
whatever, we're all gonna die.
Well, yeah, dude.
Live
It's
your
'cause,
life.
Stress causes cancer in general, and there's not. I mean, how much stress is there in the world now?
Yeah, cell phones.
More than
Apparently,
enough.
I don't know
Yeah.
what else causes
Do you
cancer.
think Wi-Fi gets you cancer?
I hope.
Dude, what if it did? That would
I mean, I've
suck.
always thought that. I've always thought, like, dude, like you're in Wi-Fi or cellular reception
Those
all the time.
wireless charging ports at Starbucks give you
Yeah.
cancer. Starbucks gives you cancer.
Who knows what that does long term? I don't know. We'll see.
The air gives you cancer.
Oh, we probably won't. 5G is supposed to like mutate your genes.
Bro, I'm just trying to get superpowers.
That's what the G stands for. 5 genes.
Yeah, 5 genes. Well, you might get superpowers with this.
Dude,
Transcend.
I'm in
Dimensions, like Alex Jones was saying. This is all part of his little plan. But so anyway, what are some of the goals for Creeping Death going forward? Because you guys are relatively like a new type band coming up. So
just take it as far as we can for as long as we can.
Like Kenny Loggins pushed to the limit.
Yeah. I mean, just like continue to just get better. You know, get better at the touring thing. Get better at our instruments. Just
see every release sound better than the last. Type of shit.
You know, we're just trying to improve, just day to day. Just we don't really think like that. Big picture, I guess. You know, just take it one day at a time. Just try to get better every day.
10-year plan.
I mean, our plan is just to be easy to work with and be as professional as possible, or as professional as we allow ourselves to be.
Not lose money every tour.
Yeah, that's better, easier said than done.
Of course, yeah. That's why it should be a goal.
That's the goal, yeah.
So, that basically wraps it up for everything here. Unless you guys have anything else that you want to like shout out or holler at.
Power Trip, Frozen Soul, In Times. Listen to those bands. Who else?
Judiciary.
Hell yeah.
Scourge, Narrowhead. We're naming all Texas bands.
That's all you need.
Homewrecker. Shout out.
Let's see. Fuming Mouth.
Shout out Fuming Mouth straight up.
Yeah.
Love
those
that.
Are the boys.
Those are the boys right there.
Breaking Wheel.
Shout out Breaking Wheel. Shout out Never Ending Game.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Shout out
all
Texas
the
too.
suburban areas and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to cut it and get back to that other thing that we were doing before.
Sweet. Sounds good.